this hero day and night in this tournament, so might as well take him at least as much as you can out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, and they're gonna pick up the Doxia. I think the only nerf he got was his the starting int is 2 points lower, so a little bit less damage, a little bit smaller mana pool, but probably gonna be a-okay and is a good strong offlaner. A lot better than the Earthshaker, who we saw had an awful time.
And
So.
Darkseer, should he go up against a Rubik, PA, Eltitan lane, may die a couple times, but for the most part should be fine. I would expect maybe another Afterlife Clockwork, or at least another early Clockwork pick here from the Aspera side. You got to get your offlane heroes up. I think, though there may be a couple more viable offlanes after this new patch, again, this is not really the place to experiment with it.
Yeah. I am hoping though we see an Invoker. Like he got enough buffed. Pick him up, guys. Go, go.
I'm
Anyway,
never not hoping for an Invoker, so
it
that's just
also
like
is
a standing thing
something.
for me.
Yeah, it's also something I think a lot of top tier players all know how to play the Invoker. It's kind of just something that used to be kind of a pub stomp hero, if I understand correctly. And so a lot of these players, I imagine, know exactly how to play Invoker. And now that he's back in the meta, it would be interesting to see. But taking a really long time, I guess they're probably wondering on the side of Aspera if they want to go with Lena Earthshaker. Because that is a powerful combo, but they just saw how it got ran over. But maybe that was skill. You know, you're trying to figure these things out. She still does. It's 850 pure damage. You know, it's nothing to scoff at. It's still a lot of damage, and we'll see what they go with. Also, of course, a good Earthshaker doesn't necessarily get picked up for the damage, but for the terrain blocking. But it's going to be that Wyvern coming out. And if I recall correctly, she got changed a little bit. She can still Winter's Curse a magic immune target, but magic immune allies do not attack their cursed ally.
I mean,
So
that's fine, I think. It's definitely a nerf, but it's not going to completely kill off the hero. And I think that was the only change, so slightly inconveniencing late game Winter Wyvern, but the late game Winter Wyvern is already so powerful that I think it's still worth the pick. And then we do have that Afterlife Clockwork. So, gonna grab two heroes that, just function pretty well in lane. Most likely not gonna go together, but yeah, I think this is probably the safest way to go. Grab the heroes that were nerfed or buffed minimally, and then wait till later on to grab the real swingy heroes.
yeah, and it's something where the Arctic Burn just it can win you mid. We've seen this a few times where teams will run maybe two mid just for the first wave to ensure that their mid wins, and Arctic Burn certainly the tool to ensure that your mid wins. So now if you're playing up against a Clockwork, like you're picking into a Clockwork, do you think it's you maybe pick one of those tankier mids, you maybe go for the Disruptor as soon as possible? What are you gonna be trying to do? Because we have seen, I don't know if you're in the game with me, but the Legion come onto mid, we have been seeing that work out.
Yeah, I mean, versus the Clockwork, I think you don't really plan around the other lanes. You just want to slow them down as much as possible as early on, and that means you need some sort of kill lane. Mostly, the important thing is to have a core who can do some damage, like Phantom Lancer, a Gyrocopter. I don't know nowadays Gyrocopter, but those types of heroes to really punish a Clockwork. Rubik and Disruptor can give you that extra control, but yeah, I don't know if SVW are actually going to want to go down that route. This draft is progressing awfully slowly. Probably mid lane is the lane that you want to grab a little bit later, simply because those heroes were touched up quite a bit. But are there any other safe picks here, like no-brainer safe ones here?
Dazzle is still very
Yeah.
strong, right? It's not something where you're going to go, oh, damn, I picked a Dazzle. Although Undefeated Goal, who I believe actually plays on a different team as their mid, I was a little bit surprised to see him here. I've seen him run a mid axe when another team picked up a Dazzle, so maybe not in your best interest. But it is going to be the Witch Doctor, and as we talked about, there is a change to the Death Ward, more damage earlier on, but you don't get that bounces for free at level 3. But still a great sustain hero, right? And with a Doxia, vacuum them in, make sure those coconuts bounce around, drop the Death Ward, seems good. Seems all
It's
great.
very safe also. Like Witch Doctor, very minimal changes. In fact, it's Mostly a buff, I would say. I don't really think Death Ward needed more damage, but Ice Frog deemed it so. Just gonna have that additional support in lane. That's like part one to deal with the Clockwork. A little bit of control, maybe Maledict involved there as well, and that's something that Clockwork really doesn't want to deal with. But yeah, as long as they get that core that deals damage, handling Clock in lane should be a pretty free ride here for SVW. Both sides, though, kind of defensively oriented, like Witch Doctor, Winter Wyvern more on the defensive side of supports. Clockwork Darkseer, that they can make things happen. Most of the time will be okay. Getting into the mid game, first of all, then, exploding with their items. So I don't think this is going to be a super aggressive game. I would expect carries to be banned out pretty highly now, as Aspera do have the first pick afterwards. It should be their core that should be grabbed.
Yeah, and banning out anti-mage Gyro, as you said, Gyro a little bit nerfed anti-mage. I feel like, yeah, he's an acceptable ban. He doesn't get nerfed enough. Actually, the PL, which is what SVW picked up last time, so they don't want to deal with it, knowing that they don't have first pick out of this ban phase. And there's the Nakes that we don't know what he can, like, we do know what he can do, but we don't know how strong exactly he is, but he got a big buff. So, and then picking up Luna.
All right.
I thought she also got a little buff, which I was really surprised by because she's already, I think, considered quite good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
slightly
she got
more strength, slightly reduced cooldown of Eclipse, and Aghanim Scepter Eclipse. No one cares about that, but just a little bit tankier, a little bit more consistent. Again, she was already in a really good place, I feel, so I don't know why she got these buffs, but if you're going to go for Luna, that is going to mean that you're angling towards the more aggressive game. Then we have a Tusk, which is actually surprising to me. Still, I think like you can get your job done as Tusk, but it's a lot more difficult after the nerfs.
Yeah. So it's the Tusk, he got, I mean, the snowball time, you can't hide in it for as long. And also interesting that they picked him up here against the Luna. I feel like the old Tusk, very good against the Luna, right? Because you can dodge a lot of those moonbeams in the snowball because it's 4 seconds long, but now only being 3 seconds long, well, we'll see exactly what's going to happen out here. But still a really strong hero. He has terrain blocking. He can certainly, we've seen before people run a Tusk Darkseer lane where you just harass out your enemies. They're trying to farm, and, Luna will be trying to farm. Suddenly she takes a snowball with an Ion Shell Tusk in it to the face. Ice Shard's coming up. And yeah, and it's going to be a Naga Siren. So that is generally the counter pick to Tusk. You sing, you stop all of the aggression coming out. So going to be really nice. She did have some changes, I think just minor changes. And the only other interesting thing is if this is a support Naga, which I'm pretty sure it is looking at these lineups, she did have a slight change to the Aghanim Scepter Naga Siren. I don't know how many times you've seen that. But her Ags got buffed, and it's always really funny. Usually only happens when a team is already really far ahead. But I've definitely seen Ags Naga Siren, you sing, your teammates heal up like crazy, and the opposing team, not only did you reset the fight, you can reset a negative fight and your team doesn't have to run away. So be funny to see what happens there.
And the dread that sets in on the enemy team as they see everyone that they work so hard to damage get right back up to full.
Yeah.
Feels so bad if you're SVW, but again, that doesn't really happen ever. If Naga Siren gets that farmed, Aghanim Scepter just probably isn't on her radar. A Wraith King's going to be the pickup here for the SVW side, though it is up against Clockwork. You may make that argument that Mana Burn's good against Wraith King. It's still the fact that Eclipse is going to be a giant threat, that Curse is going to be a giant threat for Winter Wyvern, and, well, Arzeek's Naga Siren mostly going to be played as a support, or at least Aspera's Naga Siren should be played by Arzeek, should be played as a support. The song setup should be really Aspera looking for a giant team fight. One cataclysmic event, maybe jam up the Darkseer's combo, maybe jam up the Witch Doctor's combo as well, but Wraith King is a hero that can resist that, may die once, but that's perfectly fine for him. Aspera do need another sort of heavy hitter here, though. They're lacking their mid lane. Wex Invoker, Alacrity got buffed. This seems like the time to do it.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm just hoping it, as you said, it feels like it would be fantastic against the Wraith King. But we'll see. Maybe going to just go with the traditional, a more traditional mid. Storm Spirit still in the pool, and it's okay. Mirana got changed, so that the Starfall does a lot more damage, I believe. She got a better agi growth as well. Yeah. So the secondary Starstorm, you know how when Starstorm affects, it applies in an AoE, and then there's another Starstorm that comes down randomly, and its radius has been increased. And the Venomancer! So we do get some unusual picks. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be, yeah, it's a Mirana mid. We'll see how this goes. And of
There's
course
the
the first
crash.
load, yep, the crash after the load in.
Of course.
Gotta go deal with that. But I'm really excited for both the support Veno and the Mirana. Her agi gain also got increased a lot, in my opinion. It got increased more than
Oh.
0.5.
Wait, there's a Dota 2 update. This might be bad.
No, I already had to update last game
Oh.
when I was crashing, and I could get back into the game. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, good. But I still
There
think
were-
that Wex Invoker here would have been a lot better, but this Venomancer,
Yes.
first of all, he got a lot of buffs. Poison Nova now doing a lot more damage, slight buff to Poison Sting as well. And if you're going to really make use of it, you want to have an extended team fight. You want to last as long as possible. Darkseer's great at that. He's probably going to be going for mech. Witch Doctor has a heal. Wraith King just lives twice, and Tusk can just sit in his snowball. This is the perfect environment to actually have a Venomancer. Just suicide bomb yourself in with that Poison Nova, and then just sit back and watch the enemies die. And though there is a Winter Wyvern on the other end, they really
we
don't
already
have
a
Aspera any
snowball
good mech
coming
carrier.
out onto this bottom lane. We have this is a very dead Mirana. They have a Ion Shell up on Tusk, who had rolled into a bunch of them. Workin trying to get away. Actually, sorry, it was the Luna who fell, not the Mirana. They were all grouped up, so it was hard to see. And Workin gonna leap away, gonna have to skill that leap level 1. Maybe not what you want in that mid lane, but a really quick early rotation out of Aspera, one of those level 1 5-man snowballs, which proved to be fatal. Yeah.
Well, I didn't see any of it because I had to patch.
No worries. That means I could just say whatever happens. But no, it was a there you go. It just was a quick kill on the Luna. Not gonna hurt her too much because she spent most of her gold on regen and items in lane, so she isn't getting too hurt by it. But a nice little pickup. And Witch Doctor actually got the kill. So last game I saw a Witch Doctor, he rushed that Aghanims and it just surprised the hell out of everyone. And I've now crashed again, but I'm excited to see what they decide to go. I feel like it's harder to have Witch rush the Aghanims when you have a Tusk support. He needs more farm naturally.
Well, yeah, it might be a little bit rough, but Witch Doctor seems like he should have a fairly easy time. Oh man, I crashed again too.
Yeah, you have to get the 2 crashes. I actually had like 5 last game, so I really hope you're not going to have that same issue. So I think what happens is they don't test spectator bugs, right? Because you're playing the game. And
Screw those guys.
Yeah, but unfortunately happening. Hopefully it gets all sorted out as we're loading into this game. Doesn't look like another kill's happening. Actually, Veno is mid. I'm sorry, I only just realized that because of the crashing. Veno is mid, taking a lot of damage, but Workin also taking a lot of damage from these poison wards. They're only level 1. We have pauses coming out. But yeah, the Veno's mid. Looking at the stats, it seems to be doing fine. Nobody has many lost hits in this mid lane. Although it is also only 1 minute into the game. Feels like longer with all my crashes. More Veno wards coming up.
Whoa.
I'm a little bit surprised he's dropping level 1 wards to try and harass Mirana.
I'm surprised he has level 1 more. It's like, Gale, granted, isn't that great versus Mirana, who'll just leap out, but, you know, Plague Wards, this is what you want to do if you're going to be pushing the lane, shoving it real far. I don't know if you want to be doing that versus Mirana. She'll have a lot more opportunities there, just tag you with the arrows, then straight kill you off afterwards, but this is not a mid lane I thought I would be seeing today. Yep. Venomancer versus Mirana, 1 versus 1. I do think the Venomancer has a slight lead here. Just as long as he's able to get his levels, he'll be fine. And Mirana doesn't really have any heroes to set up for her. Like, there is no play stun. I guess eventually there might be a Naga Siren in Snare, but I don't know. That's going to be pretty easily recognized by the Venomancer. So, yeah, this mid lane might be a little bit rough for the Mirana, who's already getting shoved out by these Plague Wards. Gonna get a little bit of cash from it, but definitely taking a little bit more damage than she's comfortable with.
She has no more regen. She has picked up a wand, but, I mean, it's not as much as you'd want against this poison dot, and it certainly does a lot of damage. And Venomancer just gonna make sure to focus her. Oh goodness, the wards are really weird. I don't know if you can see them in mid just flipping around, but anyway, he's gonna get a lot of CS and be able to push this lane very successfully. In the meantime, we do have that bottom aggro lane, but Naga Siren, she has Riptide and the net. So, very ready to go, and they don't have ward vision. Naga Siren, she's engaging. There's going to be a net out onto Madden. Darkseer probably going to take a lot of damage there. Taking a Moonbeam. He does have Surge away, though. He can just walk it off. And it's actually a Snowball. I think maybe a little bit of a mistake from Akela. Going in way too deep. You have to know that your Darkseer is going to get out, and now Akela probably going to fall. One more auto attack. Actually, they have the net, so here come the auto attacks, and that'll be our second blood. But I
The
think you
first
have
kill
to.
for Aspera down towards bottom lane. Winter Wyvern is the one to draw it, and also Winter Wyvern with the level 2 Splinter Blast was able to throw that out, not kill the Darkseer, but cancel his salve. So he has to go all the way back to the base, then get all the way back out. So though it only is one kill, it essentially takes 2 heroes out of the fight. So big plays here on bottom lane. I didn't think that they would be able to get around the surge, but man, the damage from Luna, just a level 1 Lunar Blessing with this many ranged heroes, man, it does add up very, very quickly. So yeah, this bottom lane, it is going to be the Tusk to fall first. That Snowball, definitely not the right move, but yeah, as a supporting Tusk, you do what you got to do to try to keep your Darkseer alive, and I guess it worked in the end, but it's just a shade of things to come for that bottom lane. Nagasar now going over towards mid. Unfortunately, Workin is not ready to actually do anything here, is very close to death, and though has Starstorm, has the arrow, has still no bottle. That needs to come soon, but no, they're instead just going to salve up, and now Arzik is spotted.
Yeah, and I really actually love this wards build. Yeah, it's something that maybe Workin can farm off of a little bit, but you can see the pressure that she's receiving. And Venno is just free to leave lane, picking up a regen rune, of course. So, I mean, it's not super great. Wards slowly burn you down, but it is something. Yeah, and he now has a Ring of Aquila. So he can work on taking this tower whenever he wants. Workin actually salved up or something. I think Ozik helped her out. But gonna be taking a lot of damage. There is finally a net coming out. This, the arrow lands. He's gonna be put in a snowball though. Can he do anything? He just has ward. He's using that regen rune. He needs to heal up as he's walking away, but he's gonna fall. The ice shot not splitting the difference, and maybe Ozik will fall, but needs 2 more auto attacks, taking a little bit of poison dot as well. Needs still 1 more auto attack, and he doesn't make it. 3 health.
Kella, I guess, lucky to survive as well, but Arzik narrowly able to get out of there. If you get a little bit more unlucky as Arzik, your Stout Shield doesn't proc that one time, then you die. So, you know, sometimes Nagasar's gonna die there, other times she walks away working, gets a much needed kill, mostly because that gives the Mirana her bottle. She needs that health regen so badly, and the combo is definitely very clunky, as we just saw. Like, you have to walk around a lot, the Nagasar has to get super close for that ensnare. This is why I'm kind of surprised that Nunova didn't grab any point in Venomous Scale, but now that he does have it, he'll keep himself a little bit safer. They get the kill in the end, and that's really what counts. Mirana with 2 Wraith Bands, able to, in theory, last hit pretty decently, and this lane is actually going fairly evenly between the 2 heroes, but the Mirana, if she doesn't get more help, is eventually going to lose this tower, and by eventually, I mean very quickly.
Yeah, and even with the bottle, right, she has to make sure to bottle in between these poison touches. It's just a pain, and she's already down to half health again, 1 bottle charge. And I don't doubt that Venomonster has better ability to get runes than her. Actually, Darkseer already headed to that bottom rune. Nagasiren's going to see him, though. Should be able to net. There might be a big arrow on this Darkseer. Venno's coming as well, though. It looks like Mirana will pick up the rune. It's a DD. This is probably a very dead man. He needs to surge away, but the Starfall hitting him before he can do anything. Finally, the poison Venomous Gale comes out, but way too late. And yeah, Mirana just going to have a happy old time. Of course, she's already out of bottle charges. So
it sucks if you're Mirana, you really do want that extra regen. At the same time, Afterlife's going to run into Akella. He has a hookshot, actually. This Clockwork is level 6, but really doesn't want to waste it on a Tusk who is just going to snowball while the cogs are up. He wants the Venomancer, and well, with the Plague Ward's up, it's so difficult to actually get. I don't think the double damage rune really mattered there. Probably they would have had enough damage to kill off that Darkseer anyway, but in these, like, you don't really want to run into a Mirana alone, or I guess Mirana Nagasiren combo while you're all alone. You don't want to run into a Luna all alone. Going on those single hero excursions as any hero for the dire side is extremely risky. We still have Afterlife sticking around this mid lane. It'll be really hard to land this hookshot. He'll throw it, but it's just short. The range not working for him this time.
Yeah, so interesting to see how this mid lane shapes up. Mirana, because of those 2 kills, is farming a little bit better, or is a higher net worth, but at the same time we can see she's just not getting near the creep wave. She has very little in terms. Oh, she actually has used that Starfall to get a few of them, but oh, there's a Midnight, and Luna picking off Darkseer on the bottom. Completely missed that. Akella now taking a lot more damage, and there's the Splinter Blast, not gonna hit Akella, just short. And also we had Moonlight Shadows that I think was for that bottom lane, but they were all under the tower. Like, Afterlife is gonna be seen by a ward. Not quite sure what that was for. No chick, gonna just auto attack him a little bit. But
it was just for bottom lane, but still it's a kill and another hero sent packing. So for Aspera, though it's not exactly what they wanted, it's still really, really good for them. Naga Siren now level 4, Winter Wyvern level 4, and Luna having a very free lane. Doesn't have quite as much net worth as the Wraith King. Seems like he's just last hitting a little bit better, but hey, I'm pretty sure Luna's going to be okay with that. Should be going for a Ring of Aquila soon, and who knows when Workin is actually going to help out this bottom lane, if he's going to help it out at all. This Mirana is very comfortably positioned in mid, but also got to remember that she can just very quickly get into the other lanes, especially if she gets phase boots or upgraded boots at any stage in this game, and then should an arrow land, it's just all over. Eclipse is also up, though no mana is there to cast it. If you're Darkseer, then you suddenly no longer feel super safe going into that lane. Akela is going to feel slightly safer, but he's only level 3 Tusk. He just might get beaten down from right clicks alone.
Yeah. It's hard to run. Also, Luna pretty fast. Also has her treads up, so very fast. In this top lane, though, we haven't looked at Wraith King much. He is top of the net worth. I feel like he's just kind of off doing his own thing. We sometimes see Wraith Kings go Midas just because he's not a hero who naturally farms well. Yeah, he does have lifesteal, but it doesn't super increase his farm just because he doesn't have cleave or anything.
Mid.
Mid. Oh, okay. We've got a Clockwork trying to do something. There's a now a haste on Venomancer. Goodbye, Clockwork. Gonna actually use those cogs and just TP out because that's how your life is against a hasted Venomancer. And now Working gonna take a lot of damage as well. Maybe gonna get chased down, but no, here comes the Naga Siren, so doesn't want to get netted under tower and just gonna bottle back up probably Venomancer. So
Afterlife kind of uncharacteristically missing these hook shots. That was a free one on the Venomancer. I think most of the time he hits that, but just struggling to do so. This Wraith King is closing on his Blink Dagger. He probably could have gone for Midas and, you know, been about where he is right now in net worth and the items as well. They're going to wrap around again for Unanova. They really want this Venomancer dead. They'll land the arrow. There's a Nova, which is going to do a lot of damage eventually, but not quite yet. Moonlight Shadow is there. Tusk, I don't think he has any detection. He doesn't. So there's actually just no kill that's going to be happening here. We'll see how much damage this Poison Nova is able to do. Arzeek is hit with a Sting, but it looks like no one else is hit with lethal damage. Not really anything close. Yeah. They'll all be fine. Venomancer, though he does do a lot of damage, you really need some sort of damage follow-up after.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And yeah, that's one of the downsides of Venomancer, and he is having, you know, we are seeing that he is causing a lot of havoc in mid as well, but he's actually having quite a difficult time because they're focusing a lot of their efforts on ganking him, and as a Venomancer, you have no escape. You're not a Quap or something, you can't just wander off. There's an arrow going for it. Hits Doxia, holy cow. Mirana went fishing, and now Luna's going to be going in. There is the first Moonbeam. She does have another one in 4 seconds, but realizing she's taking a lot of tower damage. Naga Siren Illusion's trying to help her out. There's a TP from Wraith King as well, but I'm just going to get Riptide at losing some armor there. And wow, that was a really impressive arrow. She fired it through, like, the Roche Pit area, just like that.
Going mid. Afterlife, this time, hook shot.
No,
again misses. He's Galed, so, I mean, Unanova has the movement speed advantage. There is an arrow soon. That one is going to connect. Arzeek has the net afterwards. Starstorm going to fly, and Unanova is going to fall. Akela in the area will throw shards into Afterlife, but even with the poison damage, it's going to straight TP away, as will the Mirana. Everyone's going to live down here. The Luna, I think, might have been able to get that kill should she have grabbed level 4 Lucent Beam and then just casted Eclipse and then, you know, crossed their fingers. I think odds are you get that kill in that situation if it's level 4 Beam, but either way, it's still 6-2 in favor of Aspera. Their movement is really good, and that's just like a small taste of what Mirana can do to the other lanes. Not only, I mean, that arrow isn't always going to land, but still, with Mirana and Clockwork roaming around, it's so easy just to get sniped out of nowhere if you're on SVW.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those things as well that, like, this Veno, he doesn't have escape. He's only got boots. He rushed the Aquila, so he's not terribly tanky. He really needs to maybe pick up something else to tank up a little bit, finishing off those treads, just keeping them on strength. And now he's got a sentry in mid. This is probably just for the Moonlight Shadows, but not feeling like it's maybe enough. And actually,
I feel like he's still here. Hookshot is up. Range. Can he land a hook shot? He's missed, I think, every single one.
He's coming back for it. He might be able to get this one a little easier. On the rune, there is a haste rune, though, so for Unanova. So Unanova gonna just walk it off. And actually, hook shot, Afterlife, not gonna even try for it. Tower is destroyed on that bottom rune. And it's very interesting because you'd expect with the Venomancer that he would have been able to siege this mid tower, but instead there's been so many people rotating mid. Nothing to come. And they're rotating 4 now, down to this mid lane, expecting a defense and hoping, I think, to get some quick, easy kills. But Naga Siren's gonna run. Oh, actually, gonna see Akela, but Not gonna say. Oh, there's the Naga Siren song. Noche probably gonna try to move away a little bit. He isn't quite. They're setting it up for the arrow, but the arrow's off the mark. A killer gonna be a-okay. Look at it go coming out. There's also a Maledict. Nice stun on Workin. Maybe they can do some damage. Of course, only level 4, but Noche dropping that death ward. But they don't have vision. They do see Afterlife, but now that he's out of the tower range, they're not gonna be able to see him. Venomonts are going in. I don't know. He popped his ultimate, so you're gonna see Poison Nova all over the place, but. Looks like most folks get away, and there is the Midas. Oh, Afterlife taking a lot of damage. Workin just gonna TP out again. They do have enough damage finally to pick off, and Afterlife gonna fall as well to those poison dots. Wraith King did decide to go the Midas. He now is almost at the blink, so, you know, we can see the Midas kind of just buying it, getting all the gold back, but somehow toning around that fight, I feel like Naga Siren just trying to use the song for one hero, maybe what let them down on Aspera.
I mean, it wasn't just that. It was the fact that they messed up the combo, first of all. You're supposed to pull back the song when the arrow is, like, in the enemy hero, so then, it works out that way. Just take my word for it. 1101 also didn't use the Eclipse there. I feel like if the Luna and Mirana went for those heroes in that area, using the Eclipse, using the Starstorm, could have gotten a couple of those kills, but because they stayed so spread out, I mean, that just didn't work in favor of the Radiant side. They're supposed to be able to get the kills with their huge initiation, use the Eclipse to burst some heroes down, and then get the hell out of there with Moonlight Shadow, but they stuck around for way too long because they botched their combo, and that led to a lost fight. Net worth now being led by the Wraith King. Venomancer not too far behind. Still, it's Aspera with the kill potential. They're going to look for Urn up towards top, but he has reincarnation. Even Net is down. He's not really in a lot of trouble right now. He should survive. In the meantime, in the river, they're going to chase forward for Uvanova, but Mikelorus is going to slow down Gall. The cogs go up. Afterlife is actually not going to set up for anyone, but the arrow does land on Madden regardless. He'll kill off the Darks here. And up towards top, the Wraith King, did his ultimate get procced? No, not even yet. They're going to see Udanova, who walks right into our Zeke right now. The Luna's here, a couple more right clicks. Udanova walked into the wrong neighborhood and immediately gets dropped. Careless plays now coming out from the SVW side.
A little bit surprised he bothered to walk over there because, you know, your Wraith King was just getting ganked. You know they're around there, but a little bit of a mistake, it happens. And also maybe didn't feel like he had the other escape paths just because there were so many heroes in that rune area, that top rune area for the river. But yeah, we can see this game very back and forth. Nothing has really been done to stop the Wraith King's farm, but at the same time, he is a melee hero. Between the Wyvern, and speaking of Wyvern, her and Wraith King are pretty much touching, just don't know it. Wraith King's gonna back out seeing the Naga Siren illusion. He might just, yeah, he's just gonna kill it. Gotta be careful though, this Winter's Curse is up. Yeah, he has his reincarnation, but I don't think he can fight into these. Actually, Witch Doctor going for the stun. Mass DP's coming out. There is immediately the global, the ultimate coming out of the Eclipse. And there is finally the Winter's Curse on Udanova, but nobody can get close enough because of these cogs, so Udanova taking no damage from his teammates. There is the Poison Nova. Afterlife is most likely gonna die. They use the Winter's Curse, but he's gonna probably eventually fall to all of these heroes. Luna managing to TP out. There's a hookshot attempt away, but finally the clockwork does go down. Maybe Ozic gonna fall as well, but an arrow hitting Madden again, working on point. But now maybe gonna pay with her life. There is also a poison to abort out, and the song, can she TP out and not die? I think she'll be fine in the fountain, yeah.
Oh so, man, the miscommunication again from Aspera. Like, the Splinter Blast would have killed off Udanova at least. Also would have maybe killed off another, but now instead the Winter Wyvern is in a bad spot. Will fly up to the hill, and 2 heroes are gonna get cliffed.
Everybody's
Mission
so
success, though. Is this still lethal poison damage? She has Embrace, but Darkseer's coming in. Here comes the Luna. Mana's gonna take one beam to the face, nothing else. And she knows that if she gets too close to Luna, she may just provide them with a snowball to get down. Undefeated Gall is gonna teleport back to the base. She will live. That was, I mean, the Song of Siren used there to save Luna, which is nice, I guess, or save Mirana, who was it, but either way, they could have gotten a couple kills there, and TP canceled by Udanova. Workin's gonna jump up to the hill, he wants to fight, and he's gonna get a fight, mech up onto Udanova, but that's not enough for Madden. It's gonna be a couple of kills extra here for the Radiant side. They know that Darkseer was around, however, they can't quite find him. This game is getting very, very interesting, to say the least. Let's see who has the lead. Yeah. It's, well, that net worth chart, that's great. I love it.
Yeah, so what happened, there was no mana for the snowball back down. They could have, of course, snowballed to that creep wave, or the creep camp right over here, but no mana on Tusk, and they were stuck up there, and seemed like maybe, I mean, a really nice play coming out of Wyvern. Oh, what have we got going down? Oh yeah, up top lane, we've got a very dead, actually, Luna gonna be a-okay. Why was the arrow? Oh, and Witch Doctor falling as well. So I was following the kill up top where Wraith King was working to try to kill Luna off. He does have that blink dagger, and he had gotten her pretty low, but Clockwork saving her life, and now, yeah. Look at these wards coming out of Aspera. They really want to catch Wraith King.
they want to catch anyone with these arrows. Again, arrow, hook shot, random Song of the Siren. These are all catch tools that Aspera are going to want to use as often as possible. There was not that much vision there to, you know, show them that the Witch Doctor was coming in, but they saw him coming. They tagged him perfectly with the arrow. So Workin is, you know, doing his job, to say the least. Now Observer Ward going to spot Udanova and Madden. Where's the arrow? Where's the hook shot? There it is, onto Udanova. He's caught in the cogs. There is a mechanism here, and they vacuum the clockwork out, but still the arrow connects, and Venomancer's going to fall. Madden's got to get the hell out of here. The cask is going to be thrown. Afterlife, though, is invis. He's going to straight TP out the Death Ward. Is it enough? It looks like it will be. In the meantime, they're going to drop the Eclipse onto Urn. He's still... Oh, actually doesn't have his ultimate. He lost it from before. He must have. Urn is going to slow down. Beam eventually will come through. Now the arrow will come through. It'll actually miss everyone somehow, but still, they're going to chase the rest of these Dire Heroes down. Double stars onto Madden. No net. Actually, Nagasarn gets fogged. 11-1 should be able to chase down Notchik, and yeah, with one more right click, they'll take that one. It's unfortunate that Aspera don't get a full team wipe there, but still, a 4-for-1. I'm pretty sure you're going to be okay with that. Working, going to blind fire an arrow, nail the creep in the face, and then get out of there. They also might be able to take this tower.
Yeah, and the only reason the arrow pretty much didn't hit there was just because the enemy she was aiming for had already died. So, a pretty good exchange. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit worried for this side. It looks like Venomancer, he's still really squishy. He's actually already picked up an overclub, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. We can see that he falls in these engagements just too quickly after getting hookshot. Doxia and the Snowball one actually coming in. Maybe they can pick off Wyvern, but oh no. Actually, the Cold Embrace seems to have been a mistake because she's stuck under the ion shells, and a little bit of a miscommunication. Oh, maybe Wyvern thought she was gonna die. Song totally wasted. Now maybe they can catch Nagasire, and they do get the perfect ice shards off. Ozic probably gonna fall here. They have the Wraith Fire Blast and no way out. So finally, quickly, 2 return kills. Definitely very behind on SVW. They're about 5,000 net worth behind. This will probably go back up a little bit. But now, oh, the hook shot off the mark a little bit on Noche. And he should have felt that. A little bit surprised he's still walking so far forwards easily. And maybe because Luna doesn't have her ult, and they should know that.
That's still, like, good for Afterlife, though. His hookshot percentages in this game kind of low, but if he hookshot in there, he's probably not going to get the kill. And if he does, he's definitely going to die for it, in which case it's not worth it. We still see the Observer Wards for the Radiant sticking in the Dire's jungle, even with some sentries being placed. They are still walking for the most part in vision, and there's another arrow being thrown by Mirana. Is it going to connect? Well, that one was a little bit ambitious. Is going to be nowhere really close. Notchik is going to just walk away from that one, but 16 versus 8 right now. And the Radiant, even though they have their share of misplays, especially that Cold Embrace, if you just use Arctic Burn and fly out of there, you're going to live as the Winter Wyvern, probably. Still, they have the advantage, and they're going to be pressuring these tier 2 towers. Luna has her Yasha and Llamadownunder, and another Eclipse is available right now. And for the Dire Wraith King, I mean, he's pretty well positioned in this game, but this Venomancer, he's got nothing. You should have a lot more towards your Aghanim Scepter at this point, and he only has an Overclub.
There's a sentry here which misses both wards, and then the lower sentry does as well. Just getting horribly unlucky with those. We've actually beginning to go on Naga Siren, but getting Arctic burned up, and now they're all in that invis, and so Wraith King just gonna fall. That's the first life. He has another, but I don't know if he wants to risk it now. He immediately blinks away, and they're all in the Snowball though, going for a Naga Siren illusion. Never mind, I thought maybe they had the real one. There's the Winter's Curse just to slow them down. It looks like an arrow gonna hit again. Udanova taking a lot of damage, not anywhere near to be able to get off his Nova. There is the vacuum onto a Wyvern, but they don't mind losing her. A nice wall comes out. There is the Death Ward, and they're going to eventually kill off Undefeated Goal. But they used 3 ultimates. Undefeated Goal actually almost killing off that Poison Veno, but I don't know. You used 2 big ultimates there, and you lost your Wraith King ult
Afterlife
for a Wyvern. Oh, Afterlife hook shoves in. What's going on here? There's going to be a Snowball slowing him down, but Udanova needs to run. Actually, throwing out the Poison Gale. Gonna see what he can do. Nagasiren on the backlines has picked up Doxia. They stop the TP of Afterlife, so he's most definitely going to fall. A good exchange support for your offlane, or for their offlaner, but at the same time, Workin, maybe thinking about coming back in, has picked up a Yasha, just going to leap away.
I think what happened there is that the Aspera side thought that the Wraith King's ultimate was still down, because otherwise you don't Eclipse him. Like, there's no scenario where you Eclipse. You trade Eclipse for the Reincarnation. That's just not going to work out for your Luna, especially since, I mean, she is decently farmed, but not overwhelmingly so. That was the mistake, I think, that costed the Radiant that fight. If they just backed off and made, like, a dedicated call as a team, they could have had a lot more success. But now Urn up towards top is going to find the Naga Siren. Very low chance he actually gets the kill here. And here comes TP support. No, it's a Wyvern, not a Mirana.
But we'll see. Either way, on the bottom lane, these illusions pushing up. We haven't talked a little bit about it, but Luna has the Manta already. Clockwork working on Vanguard? Question mark? High voice? What's this vitality booster? I'm not super sure what's going on there. I'm gonna pause it to you. What do you know about this, Mike? What do you think is our big vitality?
Well, Vanguard doesn't seem like a great item here. Like, the right clicks coming out from the enemy side, you could block some of the wall of replica damage. Wraith King, yeah, Venomancer, kind of,
actually,
but like,
Crimson
for the
God
most
really
part,
good
Pipe is
against
better.
replicas, right? Crimson God pretty good against replica, but yeah, as you said, Pipe I think helps a lot more against Veno. And also, no offense to the Doxy, he doesn't have his blink up yet, so he's been having a lot of trouble getting more than one hero, right? They really have to chase after this lineup of Asperas, and it's hard with a Naga Siren. So,
I mean, that's why you get Naga Siren, right? So you could jam up the combos. We haven't really seen that just yet. In fact, well, the songs have been, for the most part, whiffed by our Zeke. Like, missed the arrow setup, missed the save on the Winter Wyvern, although that was kind of Winter Wyvern's fault. Still, our Zeke can do that for his team later on, and he has that Solar Crest. He's going to slide down to the Roche Pit, where with the double damage rune on working, they should be able to clean this one up pretty quickly. Seems like the Dire are just, well, they're heading towards that direction, kind of, but it's going to be way too late. Double life should be picked up on the Luna. They're going to Moonlight Shadow. It's not spotted by the Radiant. They know that there is now a double life on the Luna, so yeah, this Luna now Wraith King status, I suppose. They're looking for bottom lane as a setup. Arrow, free-handed. Don't walk into that, Venomancer. He won't. The melee creep is going to take it.
But yeah, we have the Solar Crest also finished on Arctic. You can't underestimate how powerful this is against a Wraith King. She can just pop it on her Luna, and Luna already has the second life. But after that, in team fights, just gonna take no damage from this Wraith King unless he goes something like the MKB. Wraith King's generally preferring to go maybe Basher into Abyssal, especially this game. I feel like Abyssal would be great. Pick off the Naga Siren before she songs, but not gonna have any hope of that in the near future at all, just because of how this Luna is playing, and there's a Naga Siren to help her out, so I'm really interested to see how carry Mirana goes. She also went the Manta. I have seen some folks pick up Maelstrom into Majol, of course. You could maybe pop it on your Luna, who's going to be tanking a lot of this. I'm not sure of the right, in quotes, build here. I feel like a Scotty might be useful as well, since there is that melee carry of Wraith King. You could kite him super easily.
I don't think that it's going to be a Mjolnir in this game. Again, the right clicks coming out from the Dire side aren't really that influential. Like, even the Wraith King, who
aggressively
should...
blinking forwards. Oh, they're Manta-ing off the Wraith Fire Blast, of course. Hadn't thought of that in interaction. And can you Manta off some of the poison damage? Probably not.
You could get rid of the... Nova's going to stick to you no matter what.
Yeah, but
I believe you can
Venomous
dispel
Gale?
the other ones, however,
Yeah.
split.
So all of these folks picking up the Manta is actually kind of brilliant. There's a lot of stuff you can dodge, and then they don't have to go BKBs as early. And they'll probably eventually actually go BKBs, but it's always nice to not have to go your BKB as early, because then you have a 10-second BKB 40 minutes into the game, and it's a really big team fight winner. So...
Well, yeah. So back to the Mirana item selection. Diffusal Blade actually seems like a... Well, she already has Manta Style, so you get that kind of working for you. But just being able to keep the chase on, being able to provide a little bit of extra mana burn. Either that or just go for a sheer HP if you're a Mirana. Any Ultimate Orb item really will do. Madden's going to get torn to shreds in the glaives, gets tagged with an arrow. Workin's going to leap in, get the kill, now has to leave. Manta Style will not dodge a snowball. Wraithfire Blast coming in, hook shot as well from Afterlife, going to get Workin a little bit of extra space as they do pop the Moonlight Shadow. Workin needs to get a little bit more distance, should be fine with the Curse onto Urn just to slow down the enemies. They'll actually use the Embrace. I don't think that's the right decision here. Mirana taking a lot of poison damage, will fall, although it seems like even without the Embrace she would have died. Now Undefeated Gull has to find a hidey hole. He's spotted. Okay, so this Winter Wyvern is pretty screwed, although Glimmer TP is gonna live. Never mind.
That's
a 1-for-1, forced out the buyback, and it seems like that should just about be it. The Eclipse is still up, as is the Aegis from the Luna, however, so the Radiant side can still go for aggressive plays.
Yeah, just really underestimating the power of those bouncing glaives, and the illusions just destroying Darkseer. So, a really nice play coming up there. So, I don't know what you do against that. Also, this Wyvern, okay, these Winter Curses have been kind of underwhelming from an offensive standpoint, but really great defensively, I feel like. A lot of the time she seems to be using them to help her team escape.
Also, the Embraces, like, both of her, like, real good late game skills have been kind of on the edge. Diffusal Blade being built up by the Luna, that is I mean, Diffusal
I
Blade's a
don't
good
think
item
I've
here.
ever seen
I'm not
that.
going to say otherwise, but I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Do the glaives actually? I don't think the glaives do
No,
the
they don't.
diffusal.
No.
That would be broken. Like
You get a lot
but-
of agility, though, and that's nice, I guess, with the
Yeah.
Manta style especially.
It feels like just another way to have to avoid going the BKB. You can purge off a number of things now too, I think, and also she can slow down people and run at them, but not sure I love it. We're gonna see more illusions popping out. These illusions, they'll know about the diffusal now, but I don't know if you want to be there, Akella, but instead, gonna be A-okay.
The Diffusal Blade, crucially, though, like, the most important thing is that it doesn't give Luna HP. And that's really what she needs. Satanic, eventually, I'm sure will be built up by 1101, but until she has that, only working with 1200 HP, yeah, still with the Aegis, so okay to survive for now, but certainly not going to be the most reliable way to progress onwards. They're going to Moonlight Shadow looking for someone in mid. It was going to be that Venomancer, if anyone at all. Looks like that's not going to happen.
Feeling like something's up. I think he may have seen one of them on the edge because everybody backed up. Maybe they're just gonna smoke, but they definitely all backed up right as the Moonlit Shadows came out, so...
Mirana also has a Blade of Alacrity. Is it going to be double Diffusal? Like, Mana Burning Wraith King, in theory, is nice, but you have to hit him a lot with that Diffusal Blade if you're actually going to cancel out his reincarnation.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
going
really
deep.
confused about this build. I feel like, you know, even something silly, just finishing off your Satanic, something like the MKB, like, all of that seems too much better. And yeah, it's a level 2, as you said. Like, what is going on?
Well, Arzik is going to be forced to sing out of bottom lane. It's a level 2 ultimate right now, so it's not going to be too bad. But, yeah, Diffusal Blade's good, but you don't really want that many of them. We got the Crimson Guard now up for the Clockwork. Crucially, though, there's still somehow no mech, no pipe on the Radiant side. Venomancer does have his Aghanim Scepter completed. Grand Tally now, Scepter damage 85 for 16 seconds. That is a hell of a lot. With no BKBs, they have a couple of Glimmer Capes. They have, you know, the heal from the Winter Wyvern, which is kind of nice, but they really are lacking effective ways to deal with this Poison Nova. Our Zeke now going to run into a whole mess of heroes. He has no song, and they know about it as well. Notchik also going to catch Afterlife with a stun. Our Zeke is going to try to glimmer out of here, and he's going to survive for a little while longer, but there's no escaping this. Arrow's going to fly through, connect onto Akella, and Luna's going to send in her illusions, but that's just about it.
They are melting
Arzik
Noche.
just wandering into the wrong neighborhood.
Nochik, yeah, might die just to Glaives. Yep, he goes down. And I mean,
Okay.
these are very tanky illusions. Yeah, the illusions get a lot of stat gains from the Diffusal Blade. Oh goodness, they're hanging out right here. Arrow, gonna be seen by Madden, but he has no way out other than that Surge. Gonna just try to walk it off, and he's also losing a lot of damage here. The Starfall catching him. They're not gonna try to go and work him, but it does Manta off the stun, and now just gonna TP out. They can't do anything about it. They do have a gem up on Wraith King, but Wraithfire Blast, if you can't land it, not gonna do too much, and they're all gonna back out. A 2-for-1, and not a very good one at that, because you lost your Dogseer again.
By the way, Workin, when he teleported back, was still losing HP very quickly in the fountain. That's how powerful the Aghanim Scepter Venomancer ultimate is. The problem is that fight was that Mirana had a double damage rune, and eventually you'll be able to also purge off the Surge. So I don't know, maybe sometimes it's going to become relevant, sometimes it's not, but either way, it's still the Radiant side to take quite a bit of damage, but not really lose that much, except for that support Naga Siren, completely expendable, and now Luna's going to clear out a massive stack. I don't know who is actually stacking this up. I can only assume it was her because she has the helm with the Dominator. Now it's up to 3,200 gold. Now should be going for a Satanic, probably. Like, she definitely just needs some sort of HP item, because the Embrace from Winter Wyvern, though nice, isn't going to do it every single time.
Yeah, the Cold Embrace seems to be doing them more issues than favors right now, just because of how it does hold them in place, and it allows the poison to catch up and so on, but we'll be seeing Wraith King hasn't picked up a new item for a while, and he has 3.5k almost in the bank. Thinking about blinking forwards onto Ozik. Ozik gonna take a snowball to the face. There is the Venomous Gale, and now Wraith King just gonna auto-attack him down. Actually, the Winter's Curse coming out, but the Ion Shell gonna finish it off, and the Winter's Curse on the Wraith King. Nobody's really poking him for any damage, so a nice little pickoff, maybe one of the first nice pickups for this SVW side that we've seen all game. Now gonna go hunt Mirana, but she's probably just gonna leap TP out. Woken, understanding that something is up. She doesn't get spotted though, and they're also actually going deep for the Wyvern. The Witch Doctor should run right into the Winter Wyvern and is going to be able to Moonlight Shadows, flapping away, Optic Boning, turnaround actually. Mirana is still hiding up in these trees. Maybe they'll find Wyvern, but no Glimmer Cape out, but they do have the vision. They snowball onto her. They'll pick this off easily. She can Cold Embrace all she wants, but they have more than enough magical damage. But now Clockwork is headed their way. Well, it's taking a really long time to fall, actually, on Undefeated Goal. There is a TP out on somebody else. Now here comes Afterlife. Wraith King seeing Woken, she's gonna leap away, but now he has to fight against these cogs. I don't know if this is enough. Blade Mail is popped. A lot of damage coming out onto him, though. He's gonna have to use this first life. There is a Poison Nova, and somehow the Clockwork goes down before Wraith King does, and he might just run away. Luna does destroy a base tower, though, and now those glaives are bouncing around on their barracks. You have nothing you can do. Madden, thankfully, this time not dying to the bouncing glaives, but holy cow, Luna just when you're not paying attention to her,
found a killer.
takes it. Oh goodness, Woken does find a killer, and yeah, just uses that Starfall. I think it was already good. And Luna maybe thinking of going back in on Madden, as you said, could purge off that Surge, could chase him, but actually just deciding to finish off the creep wave. And with exposed racks against a Luna, those glaives are just going to bounce all over the place. There's not much you can do. Now they're putting up the Veno ward defense, but I don't think that's enough.
Well, the glaives don't actually aggro to they don't bounce to the wards, so that's always kind of nice, but you know, the creep wave will take care of that eventually. I'm not sure what the plan was there for Aspera, if it was everyone get out or everyone buy space for the Luna. Either way, the Winter Wyvern lived for a very long time with the Glimmer, with the Embrace just on herself, and everyone else from the Dire kind of struggling to get into those really close quarters in the behind that side shop. So it worked out pretty well for Aspera in the end, especially for this Luna. Now with the Butterfly, not a great item in this game. Again, it's like not physical damage that's coming towards you, at least not that the Butterfly is going to help in that regard, but they're looking for Ern right now, who is working with his Reincarnation. That's just not going to happen. This Wraith King is, yeah, sometimes going to be a threat, but for the most part, he's not a right-clicker. Even with this Radiance, he's just there to be disruptive and just to stay in the fight for as long as possible. So, like, Butterfly, yeah, you're going to dodge him, but he's not hitting that hard anyway. They're going to go for Roshan instead. This should be very quickly cleaned out.
This Wraith King going Radiance, I think, is really interesting. They're going to have to deal with the Luna Illusion up top, and yeah, I don't think they're going to have any idea about this quickly falling Roshan, but I don't know if Radiance is the item I would have gone for. It's not like you're stopping Blinks. Yeah, you're still going to burn when you're songed up and so on, but you're rocking below 2k health, and they have Solar Crests. Like, feels like you need a little bit more than just your Blade Mail. And
it's for the it's like for the Venomancer synergies. Like, they just want to sustain through the fight as much as possible, and the evasion or mischance or whatever from Radiance works well in that. And then between the Radiance dot and the Venomancer ultimate, that's how the Dire are looking to win these fights.
Yeah. So gonna be interesting. Luna does have 7 charges still on that level 2 diffusal blade. I really think she's just doing it for efficiency of space, and she is headed up top. Gonna see if she can just go on the racks, and she doesn't care. She has the Aegis, so she's gonna start. The glaives are bouncing. By backdoor protection because of that mid lane positioning was okay. They still need to take the wave with them. And now the defense is mounting. She leaves her creep, which will probably kill off. Actually, there's going to be a net coming out onto Iran. He's going to take a big arrow as well. This could just be his first life going down. Nobody seems to be interested in attacking him. Luna actually getting Glimmer caped up. He now takes a rocket to the face. Luna finally using some Moonbeams. It's still attacking those racks, doing a lot of damage to our Wraith King. There is the Moonlight Shadows. They are going to jump in with the Venomancer, but Gale only hitting the Luna, who of course does still have that Moonbeam. She's going to get in the Snowball, everyone. There is the Witch Doctor ult coming out. They have vision of her. They're going to actually do some good damage, but she's not taking any of it. Finally, Afterlife also going to fall, but that of course was just the Aegis. Venomancer buys back. I don't know what he's going to do without that Poison Nova. We have a wall down in a bit of an awkward place. We need to back him through it, but of course there's that cooldown. Winter's Curse coming in on Irine. I don't know. They seem to have more than enough damage. Luna getting cold embraced up, and there is the Naga Siren Song, maybe realizing she might actually fall. And Venomancer, he's on the sidelines though. Maybe he can blink forwards and just gale someone. Do it, Venomancer. No, it's going to be the Radiance that's going to burn them down. He's going to burn down Luna. And this is amazing. We've got undefeated goal. Still trying to run away, but nothing's going to save you now. You can cold embrace all you want against all of this magical damage coming out, and somehow they fantastically defended their racks.
That was the damage over time value of the Wraith King, just refusing to die right there. He has buyback, but he wasn't forced to use it. The Luna was on the front lines, and if she went for some sort of health item, man, it could have been just like Rax is there for Aspera, but she didn't last long enough. Health items also just increase the effectiveness of Cold Embrace. Keep that in mind as well. It's not really doing that much, so Venomancer's ultimate wasn't even that great. Like, it only connected, I believe, on that Luna who was on the front lines. Even ended up losing her Aegis, just that, to that Nova. Even with all said and done, the Luna and Mirana's builds, they're not conducive to going for those types of fights. Like, they're great for getting pickoffs, but in those large-scale engagements, you need staying power, you need Satanics, you need Scotties, those types of items, but they just didn't have enough of it. The curse was pretty well placed. The song from the Naga Siren was, nice in theory. They're going to catch Udanova, actually, Afterlife will, with the hook shot, and Udanova will fall. But the top lane was successfully defended, but I don't know if they can actually do it again. It's going to be a little bit rough, let's just say.
Well, they won't have to deal with the Aegis next time, and Aegis will be down for a while. Yeah, new items are coming out. It looks like Wyvern's actually going to be the one building up their pipe, finally agreeing they need it. But I think this big team fight that came out for SVW actually giving them a good start on new items, and Wraith King's just going to get bigger. He didn't die at all. He didn't have to buy back. Yeah, Venno did, but Wraith King, he's going to be, as you said, in those team fights, causing a lot of damage over time to everyone, and just a big nuisance that you have to kill off twice. So, but as you said, they're going for the push again. Wyvern doesn't have the pipe yet. They use the Moonlight Shadows, and there isn't vision in this base unless the Wraith King pops out. So Luna just gonna start going on that tower. There is no backdoor protection. Arrow gonna miss a killer, but there is the hook shot onto Noche. Noche, he's the one they need. He has massive amounts of damage and no buyback. It looks like this Rax is gonna fall. No way out, it seems. Dogsy are not able to get in close either. He does have that Blink Dagger wall combo, but just not able to do anything, and this Rax goes down for free.
Not just one, maybe some more. Luna has so much evasion with the Solar Crest, and of course the Butterfly. That fight from Aspera, unlike the past fight on the top lane, was not a 5v5 fight. That was a small skirmish type fight happening in the Dire base, which is so difficult to actually make happen. Ern's gonna jump in, looking for this Luna, but can't land the stun, and now the curse onto Madden. Arrows following through as well, and Madden gonna get killed mostly by his friendly Wraith King. Unova's gonna jump in, great Nova onto everyone, but the Glaive is still tearing him to shreds. Luna's just gonna bail, going to the fountain, working, gonna get slowed down. Looks like this Mirana will die to the dot of the Venomancer, and will our Zeke die as well? That's a possibility.
Yeah,
he will in base.
And Afterlife.
Oh,
so
and Afterlife too.
Yeah, get the triple kill after death. That's the power of that Poison Nova plus just a Venomous Gale. But at the same time, they lost top Rax. They lost a Rax in mid as well, the melee. It's getting harder and harder to defend. A lot of that was just they didn't have a sentry down on the ground, so the supports didn't realize in top lane there was no sentry up here. The supports didn't realize that the entire enemy team was in their base, but it just feels like a bit of a misplay. You have to be buying up those items. The Aghanims is up on Witch Doctor, but you need sentries still,
When you're the one who gets hookshot, Aghanim Scepter doesn't really do that much for you.
Yeah.
He is a good amount of HP, but we have a big item coming up on 1101. It's the BKB. It's not necessarily going to be that huge health item I was talking about before, but what damage do the Dire have that goes through that? The Death Ward, that is certainly very nice. Radiance isn't doing that much for the Wraith King as far as killing off a BKB target, and of course you don't take any damage from the Nova from the Venomancer once you pop that one as well. So this Luna is well prepared now to just go for the slow siege engine type tactic, and it's just going to be a matter of time before an arrow lands from the Mirana or a hookshot lands from the Clockwork, or the Dire clump up and get hit with an Arctic Curse. This Luna is going to be very hard to dislodge. I still would have liked to see a Satanic at this point, but you know what? BKB is acceptable, I would say.
Yeah, the other thing that I worry about for this side of SVW is they don't have wave clear. A Luna, a Mirana, especially given how Starfall works and Naga Siren, they got some good wave clear on them. There is nothing, it feels like, on this Dire side that's really going to help them get rid of those creeps all the time. They have no, lightning on anyone. They don't, other than the Radiance, they don't have much AoE stuff. You're not going to be able to Poison Gale a creep wave, and it's just really difficult to get rid of all of these illusions and these creeps coming in. At the same time, we have an engagement. There is the Moonlight Shadows. They're going to set it up with the song, pointing out the Wraith King that they needed to do something on him. The arrow does land this time, a nice cog separating everyone, but still the fight hasn't really engaged. There is the Winter's Curse finally, gonna kill off a killer, making his own teammate kill him, but the immediate cancel on the Death Ward, it's a beautiful vacuum, but again, with this Crimson Guard, they're taking barely any damage. Wyvern probably gonna fall here. Alzik doing a lot of damage, finally getting Naga Siren making those illusions. Another arrow coming out, catching Noche, but he didn't get to use his ult anyway, so it doesn't super matter. Working, Montaing off that Wraith Fire Blast, and now Aaron is trying to get in. The Rax is being taken though, the entire base is being taken, the GG is cold.
That fight was not a fight that Aspera expected to win, but they won anyway, which is of course very nice. That was just a waste of time so that Luna would be able to clear out the entire base type of play. And it worked out on both ends. Luna can destroy a base so quickly with the Glaives, with her very aggressive, high agility build. And yeah, the rest of the SVW side just not able to scrape it together. The Venomancer was not in that fight. they need the Venomancer in that fight. Venomancer is the majority of their damage, like 80% of their damage, something around those lines. Wraith King, his build is really nice, but when he's the only hero who has that type of build, and when you're only in the damage over time department, yeah, you're going to be running into some problems. We also unlocked achievement, the score, 32-22. Aspera do claim the series.
Yeah, and a pretty dominating fashion, but still really exciting. We're seeing all these new picks. I love it. I'm excited to see what more we're going to be having out of all of these teams on this new patch.
We're seeing some interesting heroes already, and I'm sure we're eventually going to get sick of it. But for right now, I'm entertained as all hell. Guys, this is going to be the end of the second set. SVW still have yet to claim a win. First versus CIS Rejects, now versus Aspera. The next set is going to be happening in, again, an hour. FDG going to be going up against SVW. And FDG had a tough time yesterday where they were, loss, win. So maybe SVW can follow suit. I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by Llamadownunder. If you guys enjoyed the cast, be sure to stick around for the next game. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Mikelorus, at Llamadownunder. It's all on the screen right now. But for right now, our break, and we're going to get right back to it. Thanks for watching, guys. GG.